I've had severe asthma since 1976, and since reading this book, I've switched to nearly exclusively just nasal breathing during the day, and at night time, even taping my mouth closed to stop my mouth coming open when I'm asleep. According to this book, it's helped many people gain control back of their breathing, especially people who have breathing difficulties, such as people like us, people with asthma. There are a few stories in this book that are a little bit out there, like I did nose breathing, my athlete's foot cleared up, and then my wife came back. But if you can see beyond those stories, I think lots of people, especially asthmatics, can get some really good benefits from this book. So did this book cure my asthma? Well, at the risk of crashing my watch time, the short answer to that is no. But did I get measurable improvements in my asthma? And the answer to that is definitely yes. In short, I feel better than I felt for years. I can now run for 30 minutes, about 2 to 3 miles with my mouth closed, purely using nose breathing, and quite often without needing my inhaler as well. I also managed to increase my VO2 max by 10%, which I was really impressed with. However, that did all come crashing down again, which I'll talk about as well in this video. First things first, and some housekeeping. I live in the UK, and NHS England say that somebody has a severe asthma attack here every 10 seconds, and we lose over 1,000 people a year to asthma attacks. So before changing anything on your asthma journey, the first thing you should be doing, speaking to your asthma practitioner, making sure that your medication is up to date, and also talking to them about what you're trying to do or what you're going to do, and getting their blessing, consent, and any guidance they might like to give you. So here are just 3 reasons why nose breathing can be better for us than mouth breathing. Firstly, it filters and it humidifies the air, meaning it's the right consistency and temperature when it reaches your lungs, and this avoids irritation. Breathing through your nose also releases nitric oxide, which helps with the uptake of oxygen into your body, and it also helps regulate your breathing during day-to-day activities, and I've really noticed this when I'm exercising. When it comes to nose breathing during the day, that's actually not too hard to master. I have allergic asthma and my nose is generally stuffy, but the more you use it, the better it gets. So it took me about 3 or 4 days to really get used to keeping my mouth closed, breathing through my nose, and over those days, my nose became clearer, and I think that many people find that. The more you use your nose, the actual more it brings to the game. It's still far from perfect, but it's doing a good job. When it comes to nighttime, it's a lot harder to keep your mouth closed when you're asleep because it just has a tendency to fall over and you wake up with dribble on your pillow. But there are lots of tapes you can buy. So this is just a sleep tape which I purchased from Amazon. I don't particularly recommend this brand. I did find it very, very good. It's called Longevity. And what this does is it gently allows you to hold your mouth closed without being too tacky whilst you're asleep. And this promotes nose breathing throughout the night for you. And we're not talking like a hostage situation here. It's just a light bit of tape. And after about 7 to 10 days, I stopped using it. And I'm pleased to report that my mouth now stays closed naturally throughout my sleep cycle. What was the results? Well, in general, I normally feel quite asthmatic most of the time. However, I do get periods of the day now, maybe several hours of the day, where I don't really notice my asthma at all, which is a good place to be for me. And when I look at my health and activity metrics, you can see here that they're all trending upwards, which is also a good sign. The one that is trending downwards is my running pace. And there's an explanation for that, because I've been doing like a 5K running series, which involves a long walk at the start and a long walk at the end. So overall, my average pace is lower because of the walk at the start and the end. So my running pace is about 4.5 miles an hour. So I'm not really quick, obviously, but I'm able to run at that pace, as I've mentioned, for 2 up to 3 miles with my mouth closed. My resting heart rate has also dropped by 5%. Now, personally, I can't tell, but I feel like that's a move in the right direction. But what really impressed me was the increases in my VO2 max. In 2021, you can see that it was below average for the whole year. Now, this is frustrating because I work out 5 to 6 days a week. This carried on into 2022, and I spent 6 months below average and worryingly 6 months low. In 2023, it was low for the first 6 months as well, but after 6 months of nose breathing, you can see here that I've had a 10 to 15% uptick in my VO2 max. And it's like a happy catch-22 situation. Nose breathing enables me to control my breathing better, which enables me to get fitter, which then enables me to improve my overall health. So why then did I lose 75% of those gains over the last couple of months? Well, it started on a boys' trip to Porto. We flew Ryanair to Porto, and I caught an illness from my friend, and it was kind of like a cold-like illness, which lasted for about 10 days, but the stuffiness lasted for about 6 weeks. So nose breathing kind of was almost impossible for lots of the time because my nose was just too blocked and, for want of a better word, snotty. Followed by that, we had a little bit of an acute family emergency. Now that only lasted for a few weeks, thankfully, and it's all sorted out now. But my nose breathing then kind of went out the window a bit for that as well. Lastly, and more recently, after all of that, and things coming free, I should have known this, I treated myself to some Apple Pro Max headphones. And these are the best headphones I've ever used by a long way. However, I am allergic to them. As I mentioned, I'm an allergic person, and we're now a couple of weeks past that. I'm on a series of steroids to try and get the swelling down, but it's just proving very stubborn to get rid of that problem from those headphones. So my mind has been off the nose breathing. Is nose breathing worth the effort and the time to learn it and kind of stick with it? I'm going to say yes, because my asthma is better than it was before. It's by no means cured my asthma. I didn't think it actually would, but it's certainly taken the edge off it for me. And I hope if you're an asthmatic watching this, that you can bookmark this video and come back to it later and just let me know how you get on in the comments. I'd like them to be kind of a discussion point for ways that we can improve our asthma overall and make our lungs a better place. The 2 books I recommend are Breathe. I listened to this on Audible. The guy who narrates it, who wrote the book, is a great storyteller, quite an interesting person to listen to. And the information is good and it's not too deep. The other book I recommend is this one. This is called The Oxygen Advantage. Probably more for those who just want pure information. But all in all, another good book covering the same subject, and I recommend either, or perhaps even both. And if you want to see how treadmill running in a controlled environment really improved my fitness as an asthmatic, you'll want to watch this video here. Until next time, see you soon.